Think you know the story? Think again. This is Twist of Mind,
Where story surprise and ending say.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Twist of Mind, the podcast where we talk about stories that don't end when the screen goes black. I'm your host Theo, and today we're diving into something we all secretly love and sometimes hate: plot twist. You know, the kind of ending that makes you pause the screen, stare at the wall, and rethink your entire life choices. Today's episode is about why unexpected endings stays with us. So we're going to talk about why shocking endings stick in our minds, why they mess with our emotions, and why we keep thinking about them long after the story is over. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. I'm joined today by someone who studies storytelling and also audience psychology, basically, someone who understands why fictional endings can emotionally damage us in the best way possible. Please welcome Fanny. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Theo. I'm really excited to talk about this because plot twists are honestly where storytelling and psychology collide.
Yeah, same here. And I feel like we've all had at least one moment where a plot twist completely changed how we felt about a story.
Or made us lost trust in characters forever.
Exactly. Okay, now let's start with expectations. Before a plot twist ever happens, something important is already happening in the audience's mind. What's going on there, Fanny?
I think from the moment a story begins, our brain starts predicting what will happen next. We look for familiar patterns, who the hero is, who we should trust, and how conflict usually ends. This is happen automatically.
So that means that we're not passive at all. We're actively guessing the whole time.
Yeah, that's true, and storytellers know this. They guide us toward certain assumptions and then break them with a plot twist. That's why twists feel powerful, that they destroy something we believe was true.
Which explains why the shock feels kind of personal.
Yeah, and one of the most common types is the identity twist. I think this is when a character turns out to be someone else, like hidden villain or an unreliable narrator.
Oh, that's the moment where usually people say, okay, I need to rewatch this.
Yes, that's true. There's also the perspective twist, where the story wasn't lying, but it wasn't telling the full truth either. And then there's the ending reversal, where the final outcome goes completely against what we expect.
And I think those are the types of endings that divide the audiences.
The ones who love them and the ones who argue about them online for years or maybe months.
You're listening to Twist of Mind. When we come back, we'll talk about why plot twists don't just surprise us, but they stay with us emotionally. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
2,000 years later.
1 hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later,
A few moments later.
just then later, end of flashback.
Alright, welcome back to Twist of Mind. Now, let's talk about why some endings refuse to leave our minds even years later. So, Fanny, why do plot twists hit us so hard emotionally? Like, why don't we just forget them once the story is over?
I think when a shocking twist happens, especially near the end of a story, our brain has to quickly reorganize the entire story, and we reply scenes, rethink dialogue, and give all moments new meanings. And that mental effort creates strong emotional reactions.
Oh, so it's not just surprise, it's also emotional and mental overload.
Yeah, like that. And many twists involve themes like betrayal, identity, or loss when we are emotionally attached to characters. Like unexpected endings feel personal, and that's why they stay in our memory uh, too longer.
Oh, so that explains why some endings stick with us for many years.
Yeah, exactly, and sometimes haunt us.
But I figure out that not all plot twists work. Some endings feel confusing or even disappointing. So, what separates a good plot twist from the bad ones?
It all comes down to balance. A plot twist should surprise you, and but it should also make sense when you look back. And if there are no clues at all, audiences feel like a cheated.
So, it's like the story suddenly changed the rules.
Yeah, exactly. And but if the twist is too obvious, it loses its impact. And the best twists leave subtle hints that reward careful viewers.
So surprise works best when it is also supported by logic, right?
Yes, coherence matters just as much as shock.
So when we look at everything expectations, types of twist, emotional impact, and balance also, it's clear that plot twists are more than just shocking moments.
They're carefully designed tools that challenge how we think and feel about stories.
Plot twists stay with us because they break our expectations, engage our emotions, and also force us to rethink everything we've seen.
Yep, a good plot twist doesn't end a story, but it extends it in the audience's mind.
And that's such a perfect way to put it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Fendi. And thank you to everyone listening. If you enjoyed this episode of Twist of Mind, don't forget to follow the podcast and share it with someone who loves unexpected endings. And remember, if the ending is still bothering you,
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
alright.
Bye.
Bye!